muting myself now and handing over to our good gentleman friend from Tunisia, English teacher and love me man with mighty mojo, Mokhtar Weenie.
Thank you, Bill Farrell from Australia, co-founder of group FETWellian. A group is meant to help people to learn, make friends, and have fun, all in respect and dignity. Group FETWellian hosts regular Zoom sessions nearly every day except Monday from 11 a.m. UTC time to 2 p.m. UTC time. And we cater different sessions, different activities. And today we have a grammar session, grammar for beginners, then Spanish through reading. And I'm Mokhtars Magic Mojo, a co-founder of FETWellian and a teacher. I teach grammar for beginners, IELTS practice, and I also host a session for the reading club of FETWellian. We are reading a book together, a novel called The Book of Two Ways by Judy Picoult. I'm going to share my screen with you right now. And we have a grammar session. Would you please confirm that you can see my screen?
Yes, teacher, I can see.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Leon, Hassan. We have also Rini with us, Maria, Rahma. And this is the second lesson, second session for grammar for beginners. And I'm using a book called My Grammar Lab. It's a very interesting book that can help you learn grammar, improve your grammar. Lesson 2 is about countable and uncountable nouns. Lesson 1 was about nouns in general. We talked about how to make plurals and how to pronounce the S of the plurals. Today is about, we're continuing with nouns, but today is about countable and uncountable nouns. And it's session 1 on countable and uncountable nouns. We will also have another one next time. And countable nouns. What is meant by countable nouns? I'm reading the definition here. Countable nouns are things we can count. For example, carrot, onion, potato. Hassan, is that, would you please mute yourself, Hassan? Because, yeah, thank you. Thank you. So countable nouns are things we can count. Like they, say like 1 carrot, 2 carrots, 3 carrots, 1 onion, 2 onions, 1 potato, 2 potatoes. So these are countable nouns that we can count. They can be singular, like an onion. They often have a or an, the, this, that in front of them. They have articles like an onion, a carrot, the onion, the carrot, that onion or this onion. Is there a market here? Where is the market? This carrot is very sweet. They can be plural. Onions. They often have some, the, these, and those in front of them. I'd like some apples, please. Those apples look good. Do you like apples? Now, what I'm doing now, I'm just giving the rules. Then we have a practice afterwards. Now, these are countable nouns. What about uncountable nouns? Uncountable nouns are nouns or things we can't count, we cannot count, like salt, oil, water, powders and liquids mainly, but not only powders and liquids. There are many nouns that we cannot count. They don't usually have a plural form. We can't say 1 oil or 2 oils. We just say oil. They don't usually have a or an in front of them. An are used only with singular countable nouns. An oil, a salt. Uncountable nouns often have some in front of them. Can I have a milk in my coffee is a wrong sentence. But I can say, can I have some milk in my coffee, please? Can I have some milk in my coffee? Some is possible to use with uncountable nouns. Uncountable nouns agree with singular verbs. Uncountable nouns go with singular verbs. Petrol is expensive. This advice is very useful. Uncountable nouns take singular verbs, not like countable nouns. Countable nouns can, if they are in the singular form, they take singular verbs. If they are in the plural form, they take plural verbs. So, because there are two forms, singular and plural. For uncountable nouns, there is only one form, and we use singular verbs with them. Now, some common uncountable nouns are food, like bread, cheese, meat, tea, coffee, sugar. Materials, metal, wood, plastic, paper. School subjects and languages, history, art, music, English, Russian. Ideas and feelings, advice, love, time, education, information. All these are uncountable nouns, very common uncountable nouns. Groups of similar things like furniture, chairs, tables, sofas, furniture. Chairs, tables, and sofas are countable nouns. But the word furniture, it's a group of similar things. The word furniture is uncountable, but chairs, tables, and sofas are countable. Luggage, it means suitcases and the bags, the luggage. Luggage is uncountable. Money is also uncountable. Euros, pounds, and dollars are countable, but money is uncountable. So food, materials, school subjects and languages, ideas and feelings. Do you have some information about the castle? Informations is wrong. Information is an uncountable noun and it doesn't have a plural form. Do you have some information about the castle? Some can be used with uncountable nouns and with countable nouns plural forms, not with countable nouns singular forms. Okay, so these are the rules. Do you have any questions here related to the rules? Anything that needs a clarification about countable nouns and countable nouns? Some common and countable nouns here.
Hello.
Yes, hi Rini.
Yeah, actually, I have question about this. Why, for example, chickens? If the living chickens, it will be countable, but if already made chicken on the table, already made and already cooked, become uncountable.
That's an interesting question. If we're speaking about chickens like hens, so we can count them. Say 1 hen, 2 hens, 3 hens. So they have a plural form. Chicken, chickens. But chicken also means meat, the meat of hens. So when it means meat, it's uncountable.
But
And
maybe,
there are many, yeah.
sorry, if
Yeah, fine, go
just in a plate, maybe just around some pieces. For example, we put 10 pieces of meat on the plate, and then we still can count the meat. I mean, why
exactly. Yeah, exactly. To count meat, or water or oil, we need another noun. You've just said 5 pieces of meat. Now we're not counting meat, we're counting pieces, 1 piece, 2 pieces, 3 pieces of meat. Or if I want to count water, for example, I say a bottle of water, and I can have 2 bottles, 3 bottles, or a liter, 1 liter of water, 2 liters. I'm not counting water, I'm counting the noun liter, 1 liter, 2 liters, 1 bottle, 2 bottles. But meat is uncountable. So I say 5 pieces of a chicken, maybe. Some words have more than one meaning. And it happens sometimes that one meaning is countable and the other meaning is uncountable. I can tell you, I can give you the example of time, for example. Time, when we speak about time in general, that's uncountable. But time also means like 3 times a week, 4 times a week. That's a different meaning. Like we meet together 5 times a week. So time here is different. It means how often we meet. So it's countable in this case. It's a bit tricky, but if we stick to the rules now, we're taking grammar for beginners. If we stick to the basic rules so that we can understand how they work, countable and uncountable, we still have another session next week. And again, there are more complicated situations where words like the word people, we sometimes we always say that the word people does not have a plural form, but it does sometimes, but in a very specific situations. So grammar is not, language is not science. People started speaking languages a long time before grammar existed. It's language, then grammar. Then grammarians came and they observed, they started observing the language and deducing rules out of the languages. And this is not always easy to do that. There are always miscellaneous. There are always exceptions in languages. Are you satisfied, Renee?
Yeah. But still, I'm still confused about the time when it will be countable and uncountable.
Exactly.
For example, for 1 hour, if 1 day will be 24 hours, we can be count. And when the time become uncountable, that's the question.
Exactly. I mean, time as a time in general is uncountable. But if we need to count it, we need to use units of measurement like hours and minutes and seconds. So in grammar, when you say 24 hours, now you're counting the hours, not the time. That's in grammar. I mean, in real life, of course, we use hours to count time. We need to measure time. Maybe we don't count, we measure time. We need to measure time, but the word, we speak in grammar here, the word time is uncountable, but we still can measure time by using other nouns, other words. Can use hours, minutes, days, months, years, centuries. So that, but in this case, we're not counting time in grammar. I mean, we're counting the units of measurement like days and months and hours. Hello, Pepe.
Hello, Mokhtar. How are you?
Nice to have you here. I'm fine. We're having a grammar session, then we're moving to your Spanish session, hopefully. Okay. So let's move on. Any other questions, please, before moving to practice? No. Right. So practice. If the noun in italics, now we have some statements, some phrases, and we have nouns in italics. Are they countable or uncountable? We're going to put C for countable and U for uncountable. For example, is there a bank near here? The word bank is countable because say a bank, one bank, two banks, so it's countable. What about the first phrase or sentence? Indeed, it's a sentence here. That cheese is delicious.
Uncountable.
Exactly. Cheese is uncountable. And we saw it in the list of common uncountable nouns. Cheese is uncountable. So it's uncountable. Would like to read the second one.
Me.
Yeah, go ahead. Let's begin with was Lehan, I guess. Lehan.
Do you have milk in your coffee? Uncountable noun. Do you have milk
Yes,
in your
milk
coffee?
is exactly. Milk is uncountable. And if we want to measure milk, we use a bottle of milk or a packet or a liter of milk. So we must use another noun. Number 3, Renee, would you give it a try?
Yeah. How much luggage do you have? Uncountable.
Luggage. Exactly. Luggage is uncountable. Suitcases, bags are countable, but luggage is uncountable. And number 4, would like to do number 4. Uzma, maybe.
Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi. Yes, number 4. Okay, I need to get some oil for the car.
Yes.
Oil is uncountable noun.
Exactly. Oil is an uncountable noun.
Yeah.
And this is, I mean, some here, if I'm a bit confused about oil, if I see some with a singular, like noun like this, not in the plural form, it means that that noun is uncountable. Some is used either with uncountable nouns or with plural countable nouns. We don't use some with singular countable nouns. So oil is uncountable. Number 5, we have Faisal with us. Faisal, you have a problem with your mic. Your mic doesn't show in the screen. I don't know if you know that. If you don't know, please see if you can fix it. Okay, who'd like to do 5?
Can I have some potatoes, please? Countable noun.
Yes, countable. You see what I've just said? Some use it with potatoes, plural countable nouns. So potatoes is a plural. Only countable nouns can have a plural forms.
Yeah.
And some is only used with plural countable nouns. Now, we're moving on to another activity. Now we have nouns here. Are the nouns countable or uncountable here? We're going to put them in the chart. We're going to classify them into countable and uncountable. Apple, for example, is countable. We say 1 apple, 2 apples, an apple. What about art?
Uncountable.
Art is uncountable.
Uncountable.
But again, there are some exceptions. Sometimes when we speak about one specific art, like we say the fine arts, but art in general is uncountable, right?
Okay.
I think someone wanted to say something. No, I'm not sure. Anyway, what about chair?
Countable noun.
Exactly, chair is countable. We say 1 chair, two
Chair.
chairs. Exactly.
And
And
furniture
furniture,
is uncountable.
Uncountable.
uncountable. Furniture is uncountable. Information,
Uncountable.
it is uncountable. Information is a bit confusing for people who speak French. In French, information is countable. It can have a singular and a plural form. So it's a bit confusing for people. I don't know if it is the same in Maria, if Maria is still with us. Does the word information exist in Portuguese? Or Pepe maybe can help us about Spanish. Does the word information exist in Spanish?
No,
No answer.
as
No.
the use of a script, you know, is not only when there is a footnote or something that you want to stress, you know, in the reading. That should be, but mostly it should be in bold and surrounded with 2 points. What is the word
Okay.
in English? It's only you
Quotation?
know.
Column?
Yes, it's like a quotation. Exactly.
Okay.
That will be
perfect.
like a quotation, but not used in a script form. No.
Okay. Right. The next word, thank you, Pepe. The next word is man. We say one man,
Countable noun.
two men. Very good. It's countable. Say one man, two men. One man with A, two men with E. And it is countable. The next word is market.
Uncountable.
Is it?
I think
Market.
countable. Countable.
Yeah. We can say there are 3 markets in the city.
Market.
So market is countable. It has a plural form.
Mhm.
Sugar.
Uncountable.
We have a crisis now in Tunisia for sugar. There isn't enough sugar in the supermarkets. People are chasing sugar from place to another. So, any questions? Again, for art, yes, please. Bill, I'm sorry, Bushgum Bill. A question from Bill. Go ahead, Bill.
Oh, mate, you're having trouble with me name. Let me remind you, it's Bushgum Billy T, I'm known as in some circles, because there's nothing more Australian than a bushgum tree. And
Okay.
there's certainly, wait for it, there's nothing more Australian than Billy T. A great Australian cuppa. Get some India.
Yeah.
So that's all I've got to say about
So you guys in
Australia
Australia
and
drink.
Billy
You
tea?
guys in Australia drink tea with milk, right?
Oh,
Or is it
yeah,
only-
with a bit of milk. Yeah, mate. Yeah, love a cuppa in the mornings or out in the bush. You get a
Not
billy
into
out in the bush and a fire, and a billy's around 10.
Yeah.
So you light it up, or in modern days you put it under a gas burner and you boil her up, and you just drop a couple of tea bags, or you chuck some tea leaves in it and just strain it out through you. Or don't even strain it, just pour it in the cup with a bit of milk and drink it. It's all good. Sorry, I got carried away talking about Australian
You're
Billy
fine.
T.
You're fine.
You
Just
sucked
a
me in
break.
again, mate. I'll go quiet. I'm very sorry.
No, wait a minute. I think you had a question or clarification, or you wanted to say something because you're raising your hand.
Oh yeah. The when you use nouns and uncountable and countable nouns, there's some rule about the a and the an and the singular you said, and I didn't. Like, I can do it naturally, but I don't understand the rule. Can you please put it in Mokhtars Mojo magic language that Bushgum Billy can understand nice and easy.
Yeah, I'll do my best. I'll do
Thank you,
my
sir.
best.
Thank you, sir.
Countable nouns, thank you. Countable nouns have singular and the plural forms. They can be one, they can be many. So if we can use them in both forms, then they are countable. Some nouns don't have a plural form. They have only one form. Well, we cannot call it singular, but they have only one form, like milk or juice. They don't have a plural form. So we call them uncountable. And if we want to count or measure them, we need to use another word, like a cup, like tea. Tea is uncountable, but a cup of tea or 2 cups of tea or 2 bottles of beer, one for you, one for Hassan, are countable. But beer is uncountable.
So that's why you get the double. I'm going to call it the double whammy. You need a double whammy with an uncountable noun. You need another noun. You need to give it a double whammy. Okay,
Yeah.
thanks for letting me put it in Aussie terms, mate. An uncountable noun needs a double whammy.
Thank you for helping. Thank you
Thanks,
for
mate.
helping. Yeah. All right, we're moving on. Now, match the pictures with the fingers on the shopping list. We have a shopping list here: 4 steaks, 4 potatoes, a melon, bread, cheese, and oil. So we're going to match them with the pictures. Picture number 1. Any suggestions? Just feel free to participate, guys. You don't need to. Would you maybe? Picture 1. 4 steaks, 4 potatoes, a melon, bread, cheese, or oil.
Oil.
Exactly. It's oil and it's uncountable. If you look at the list here, we have 4 steaks, plural form, that's countable. 4 potatoes, plural form, that's countable. A melon, we have a melon. It's singular, it's singular form, but we have a, so it's countable. But the bread,
No,
it's the
uncountable.
plural, and we don't have an or n before, so it's uncountable. Exactly. Number 2, we have 4
potatoes.
4 potatoes. Exactly.
Countable.
4 potatoes. Countable.
These are
and if
countable.
I'm sure you've marked that for potatoes we add es. If you still remember from last time, those who were who attended last time, some words that end in o, we should add es to make the plural form. Potatoes, tomatoes, maybe, but not all of them. Not all of them. Photo, for example, and is in o, but we just add s. Number 3.
Why, teacher? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Why, teacher? If it is ending by O, some of them are using as, and some of them are no, because of before O it is consonant or alphabet. No.
There isn't a clear rule about it. The rule goes that if only a few words that end in O, we should add es, but there isn't a clear rule about it. As far as I know, maybe there is, but I don't know. But as far as I know, there isn't a clear rule about it. So most words end in O, just take S, but some of them, and we should just know about them. But I'm not sure if there is a rule about it. There are clear rules about words ending in sh, in ch, in yes, in s, in double s, in x, but not with o. With o, only a few words. Lehan.
Yeah, teacher. Yes, I know that ending by O, X, CH, S,
Double
yeah,
S.
double S.
Mhm.
Yeah, add by ES. So just now I know that photo only add S. I'm scary that one day someone asking me, I don't know how to explain that, teacher. That's why I'm asking you.
Yeah, that's, I mean, that's what I've just said, that language is not a science. That language has been there for millions of years, but the grammar has just started maybe 1,000 years ago. People have been speaking for so many years. Then there came some thinkers, some people with some free time, and they started looking at and listening to people speaking around them, and they started deducing rules.
Okay.
So,
May I say something, teacher?
yeah, Hassan, yeah, please.
Okay, usually plurals of words ending in O, are usually made by adding es, but there are some words, there are some exceptions, and especially some words ending in O, but which are borrowed from other languages. For example, piano, this is not an English word, okay? For example, zero, it's a French word. So photo, for example, photos, these are not, or these words origin
Latin,
is
Latin,
not
of Latin
English.
origin.
So in this case, you can add only s, but usually, as teacher mentioned before, we add e and s. Thank you.
Thank you,
Because
Hassan. Maybe I'm not going to back you, but maybe you're right. It's very possible. It's very likely that this is the rule, but I'm not sure. But maybe you're right.
Yeah.
Okay.
To be honest, there is no certain rules about this topic, but
Yeah.
as I mentioned before, usually the words which borrowed,
Yeah.
which were borrowed from other languages like French, Arabic, Turkish, something like this.
Right.
Okay.
Potatoes.
When we face with this nouns, we should add only s, but usually we must add e and s, as you mentioned before.
Right.
okay,
But,
so it means teacher is not come from
potatoes, like the
original.
word potatoes. I'm sorry, just a minute, Leon. The word potatoes is of Latin origin. It exists in French. We say patate, but it doesn't end in o. But it doesn't end in o. I'm not saying, Hassan, maybe you're right. I'm saying that the word potatoes comes from patate in French. Tomatoes is also tomate in French, but in French they don't end in o. So maybe this is maybe you're right. Leon?
So what about kimono? Kimonos
I'm gonna
or
find out and
Just S.
I will
just
share
S.
with you. Okay.
Monos.
Yeah,
Oh.
kimono, just S.
Kimonos.
Kangaroos, I think also. Kangaroos, I think it's just S.
Kangaroos.
I think it's just S. As far as I know, I think it's just S.
Okay, teacher. So it means it's not original, right? Original language.
As far as I know, there isn't a clear rule about that. There are clear rules for words ending in S, double S, X, sure, but for words ending in O, there isn't a clear rule about it. Okay, what about number 3?
Bread.
Bread. Singular, I'm sorry, countable or uncountable?
Uncountable.
Uncountable. So how can we count bread? How can we measure?
A loaf of bread or a slice of bread.
Exactly, Hassan. A loaf of a bread. The picture we see here is a loaf. This is a loaf of a bread. And the plural of loaf is loaves. You remember last
Loves,
time, for
yeah,
those who
loves.
attended, yeah, loves with V instead of F, V-E-S. Picture number 4.
4 sticks.
4 steaks. Steak, 1 steak, 2 steaks. It's countable. And last one is
5, a melon.
a melon. A melon is countable. 1 melon, 2 melons. Moving on. Now we have show the correct underlined words in the note from Adam to Rachel. So every time we have 2 options and we're going to choose one. Rachel, can you buy, okay, maybe we need someone to read, who'd like to read
I will read.
the note. Yes, please.
Rachel, can you buy the food for dinner tonight?
Mhm.
Mom and Dad are coming. So can you get
Okay.
get
meat
some
or
meat?
some meat?
Can you
Exactly,
get
some meat.
some meat?
Mhm.
Maybe for nice stick without S stick.
4, we have 4, we have a number,
Oh,
we have
4.
4.
4
4
sticks.
nice
Yeah, 4
steaks.
sticks. Sorry.
Exactly, we have
Can
4,
count,
so
countable.
yeah.
Countable.
Exactly.
We need some potatoes.
Some potatoes. So potato is countable. It has a,
Yeah.
okay.
For large, 3 potatoes for baking.
Well, yeah, 3 is the number of the word. So, but 4 large potatoes. Yes, 4 large potatoes for baking. Yes? Would you please go on?
Yeah, can you buy some bread and cheese?
Exactly. Can you buy some bread and cheese?
And cheese too. And maybe some nice juicy melon to start.
All right. Do you agree with Renee about this? A nice juicy melon or some nice juicy melon?
Some nice.
Okay. Do you remember the picture in
No.
the previous task? It's
A nice
countable.
juicy melon.
Yeah, a melon. We say a melon. A nice juicy
Oh,
melon.
a
One
nice
melon.
juicy
No.
melon. Oh,
Exactly. A nice juicy melon.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, and we need some oil as well.
Exactly.
Thanks. See you
And we
later,
need
Adam.
some
Oil.
Some oil. Now I'm going to play. Let me share my audio, and we're going to listen and check.
Unit 2. Exercise 4. Listen and check your answer. Rachel, can you buy the food for dinner?
Not so clear.
So can you get some meat, maybe?
I'm sorry, not so clear.
Yeah.
All right, maybe I need to.
Unit 2. Exercise 4. Listen and check your answers.
What about now?
Rachel,
Yeah, already.
can you buy the food for dinner tonight? Mum and Dad are coming. So can you get some meat, maybe 4 nice steaks? We need some potatoes, 4 large potatoes for baking. Can you buy some bread and cheese too? And maybe a nice juicy melon to start? Oh, and we need some oil as well. Thanks. See you later, Adam.
Great. Last activity, correct the mistakes in the underlined parts of the sentence. Like, do you want a salt in your soup? A salt is wrong. Salt is uncountable. We say, do you want salt or do you want some salt in your soup? Sentence 1, who'd like to read and deal with
May I
sentence? Yes, please.
Okay. The first one is education is very important.
Exactly. Okay. Education is okay.
Very important. And
Is
number
very
2,
important.
yeah. Can I have some boxes? Okay, 2 boxes of eggs, please.
So exactly. So the word box is a countable noun,
Ending,
and
yeah.
it should be in
Yes.
the plural form. And we should add, very good, Osma, we should add es, not a just
Yes,
s.
yes,
Can I have
yes,
2
es.
boxes of eggs?
Exactly,
Okay.
because it's ending with x, and we will put es to make plural form.
Exactly. That's
Yeah.
it.
And number
Would
3 is
anyone?
Can I have
Okay.
next
Rini,
one.
would you please? Yeah. Rini, go ahead.
Can you
Thank you, Osma.
give me any information about trains? Any?
Well,
Information
yeah.
S.
So
Without
let's
S.
focus. Yeah, information with no s, without s.
Without s,
But
yes.
yeah, but again, but Rini has just made a good point about some. I don't know if we should talk about this at this level, because this is the grammar for beginners. But some is, I mean, using some is a bit also a bit of a trick. We use some with positive sentences, and we use any with negative sentences and the questions. This is the general rule. Like, can you give me, I don't know, let me give you a different example. Like when I
Don't
say,
give,
like when I say, I want some sugar in my coffee. I want some sugar in my coffee. But I say, I don't want any sugar in my coffee. I don't want any sugar in my coffee. Or maybe you're going to ask me, do you want any sugar in your coffee? Now, this is a question. However, some questions are a bit tricky. Like sometimes, well, like the question we have here, a question can be an invitation. Like if I'm inviting you to have some coffee, and instead of saying, do you want any coffee? This is just a question. When I say, do you want some coffee? I'm inviting you to have some coffee. Like, or I'm making a request, like, can you give me some help? So in this case, we can use some, although it's a question. It looks like a question. This is grammatically, it's a question, but it is an invitation. I'm inviting you to have some coffee. When I say, do you want any coffee? I'm just asking. You can say yes, you can say no. But when I say, do you want some coffee? I'm inviting you. So it's a bit tricky. Maybe we can just talk about it some other time, right? But the general rule is we use some with positive sentences. We use any with negative and the questions, negative sentences and the questions. Yes, please.
I think when we make the sentences in negative form, we use any.
Yes,
Am I
that's
right?
Yeah, that's right. That's what I'm saying.
And
But
can I try
questions,
to make this number 3 in negative form?
yes.
Okay, I don't need any information about the trains.
Exactly. We don't say I don't want some information. It doesn't work like that. I don't want any information.
Exactly.
Right? But in a question, we said generally in questions we use any, but in some functions, in some situations, if it is a request or an invitation, so we use some. Now, number 4, would like to do number 4. We've got a lot of
Luggage without S.
without S. Luggage is uncountable. I
sorry.
must get,
I must get some petrol.
How to make to understand a lot of with lots of
They are the same. They are the same. Either you say a lot of, or lots of without a, and they have the same meaning and they have the same function. All right. So a lot a lot of, or lots of without a. Like a few and a few, few and a few. I must get petrol for the car before we start, or I must get some petrol, maybe. I must get some petrol for the car. Some petrol. Last one, I haven't got a lot of monies.
Without S, money.
S, without S.
Yeah.
Not a lot of money without S. And this is the end of it. Thank you very much. This is the end of the grammar session. We'll have another grammar for beginner session by next week. Now, Bill, would you please end the recording?
Excuse me, Mr. Mokhtar, I'm really very sorry.